working. And it would be a pretty inexpensive thing to enclose that. If there was some other use for it, that would be, another thing. Yes, sir.
But these doors moved back on that entrance?
Yeah, I thought, obviously this is eliminating a dressing room, okay? So this wall over here would have to go back, move back a little bit to bring that clear in. The only way we could truly facilitate this is get this out of storage and get this as a dressing room. Or I'm sure we would have a lot of people being unhappy about that. So a lot of these things, one thing is kind of contingent on another thing. And again, I want to emphasize that we don't have any numbers, so don't ask me how much is this going to cost. I have no idea. I do know that we made every effort in what we were doing to look at things like not removing structural walls where you have to do beams, and trying to place things where you needed utilities, that those utilities were close at hand, that you didn't have to tear up the floor and go, 30, 40 feet to run things, which is why we backed the bar up to the kitchen and that kind of thing. But any other questions that you have, I'm going to leave this on, and then you can come up, because I realize, I'm sorry that it doesn't show up any better than it does. I'll let it up there, and you can look at it. Yes, ma'am?
Yeah, Tom, would you explain what they call the footprints of our clubhouse? Because I'm not sure if everyone's familiar with the fact that we really can't.
Well, yeah.
Rules and regs.
This, and I don't understand what I don't know. But I'm told, and by many people who should know, that there is no way, I think we could add 2 more sprinkler heads to this system without going all the way out to County Line Road and bringing in
New piping.
more water to facilitate an irrigation system. So we made no attempt at going outside, with the exception of the 2 structures that she's talked about, but adding onto the building where we moved the wall out for the bar, that is already got sprinkled. Where we talked about enclosing the entry, that's already sprinkled. So what we've done, we don't have to mess at all with the fire suppression system. And we've tried to, for example, like the fireplace, you take a look at this, you remove the fireplace, that's just a frame structure with brick put on the outside. That, and it's a gas fireplace. It's not a masonry fireplace. So it's not, again, it's not that difficult to remove. It'd be no more difficult than removing a wall, for example. Any other questions? I realize we've gone through this, and if you want to come to the board meeting on Wednesday, you can hear the same thing all over again, because we're going to present it to the board next Wednesday. Yes?
I have a question about the parking, like with the expansion on the backside.
Wouldn't change that.
The
It
park,
wouldn't affect
it
the
really,
parking.
Well, you're moving all the golfers to park over
golfers.
there, and they don't park there now, so that is a major change.
No,
There's
this is
no
way-
change.
And the parking.
None.
okay, here. Okay, you see, here's where the parking is,
Right.
okay? These
No,
are,
the parking is on the other
no,
side.
you see this right here? This is a cart path. And it goes right through there, it goes right on up
That's your
to
car.
where the handicap parking is. There is no parking where these are. This is all grass.
If you walk back there, you'll see it's all grass, and
Yeah.
it looks out at the gazebo.
And it's moved, and actually that could, this could be twisted more if you wanted to.
Twisted, right.
But there's a gas tank and stuff buried back in here that we can't get at. So this was, again, trying to look at what was out there and doing the least amount of damage. The same is true with with putting the entrance to the pack room, where we talked about going right here. It's just that short a thing to the sidewalk and the drive. we couldn't change anything on the outside of the building. There would be no adding a turn off. If we went to the, say, over here, we'd have to pull it, we'd have to do a lot of work, and add a turn off. I choose to do that, but we tried to minimize that kind of thing.
How about like Tuesday night entertainment, would that happen in here instead of?
That's up to the powers that be.
Okay. Okay, because there's not gonna be a dance floor, I mean, in your thoughts.
Well, and I think you have to understand, first of all, the architect made this,
Can't hear you.
I'm sorry, the architect made this print, and there was nothing in it, and we messed around with it. And he does not want to have anything to say about it, because, but he did put the seating in. Now, he plopped it in via computer. And my understanding is that when they were talking about putting a new floor in the dining room, they were talking about putting a hard surface floor in as opposed to carpet, which meant that you can move tables around and create a dancing area anywhere you want it, which makes sense to me. But that, you just have to, he put seating in so they could see what you have, and that way you can move it when you have an activity for dancing. When you don't, you can put the tables. It gives you a lot more flexibility. Yes, ma'am.
The other thing is, with that bar area over on the other side of the pack room, you could also have that area as a dance area too. I mean, there's a lot of different options.
Yeah, you've got, and so many times I know our village has dinners and stuff here, and if one room is full, that could become a room where villages could have dinners, people could have meetings there, which I think we need another room like that, So there's a lot, this is just preliminary, and then the board has to look at it and say, what do we want to move ahead with? And if they do, then they're going to have to involve an architect to get some preliminary plans and get some numbers to it. And then say, based on the numbers, can we do it? Where do we get our money from? How much is it going to cost? And those are all issues that the board has to deal with. And thankfully, we don't.
Hey, Tom, on Francine's presentation, at one time we had a underground cut into that hill by the park pad.
Yeah,
With a filigree on top of it, so we could park all the carts, store the carts there.
well, you could, and the other thing I was thinking, because if you come out, right, here, where this is a big angle. And to me, probably would twist that, and so it was facing directly out, and then I'd dig it right in, so it would even set that building down lower. And the front would come out, because this is a hillside here. And,
Carts.
but that, again, that's architectural stuff, and that's, and if they want some cart storage and build in things, those are things that the board is gonna have to kind of deal with and work with, because these are just concepts that we're dealing with at this point.
Okay, Tom, another thing that I've always wanted, and maybe I'm a pain in the butt on this, but we need space to stock and control inventory. We never had that. We stored liquor in the office, which is not controlling the liquor.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, and we've talked to Wayne, and
It's been addressed.
but when the design comes, I mean, the architect's gonna have to do that.
Okay.
And hopefully they'll get
So
an
we're
architect.
finishing, huh? We're finished.
We're done. What we're gonna do is give this to the board, and like I say, if they could just say, hey, nice work, but we're not interested.
Oh,
And I warned you people on the committee that could happen.
Anyway, to look at, we still got a bar.
Yeah,
It was fun though. Hey, you guys, it was fun.
Yeah, it was.
it looks like 2,800 square feet.
That size of the house.
Yeah.
Can you go back to the previous drawing?
I can do most anything. Clever as I am here.
No, is this drawing right here is the one that's going to be submitted to the board.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Even though
Are
you
there going
made
to be
changes?
any additions?
Well, I would hope that if the board decides to go ahead with this, that they would sit down with some of us and talk about our ideas. But at this point, when they're getting an architect involved, I can tell you, he's gonna have his own ideas, or she's gonna have her own ideas. And so it's gonna be a blend of things. So, you know, and I'm hoping whoever they get will talk to the people that work here,
Yes.
for example, so that they can blend what's going on. When I go into a brand-new bar and the bartenders won't talk to me about what they think about the place, it scares me. It scares me. And so I think we've got the concept down. We've got, I think, an opportunity for people to walk into this building, and with a half wall, they can look out, they can see the fountain and all the golf course, just being in the lobby.
So there was some modest changes that our team had looked at,
Yeah.
right? And then I didn't know whether they should be represented on this drawing.
Well, anything that we want, we can turn into the board with it, but I'm not gonna pay the architect to go back and do this.
No.
Jake, we'll
And I
sit
didn't
down
pay it,
and
but-
make a drawing.
I'm not
We'll
going
sit
to.
down and make a drawing that can be submitted with that.
Anybody else got any other questions?
More comments?
The only thing that comes to mind, Tom, is we have this pandemic. Hopefully, the board will have a strategic plan for finance and future operation. Life may be different in another year from now. It may not be the same. This may be all nothing.
Like I said, I told you when we started,
Yeah.
they've given us this, they can buy it, they can buy
Didn't
part
cost
of
them,
it.
didn't
they
cost
can
them a thing to get it done.
Modify it.
Yeah.
This is our great ideas,
And that's all they wanted.
and
from
that's
us.
what they
Great
wanted.
ideas.
And
That's
and
it.
that's
You
what
guys
they're gonna
did
get.
a great job.
Great job.
Yeah, very good.
And with that, I will declare the meeting adjourned.